So across from the right angle is the hypotenuse. Okay, and so we're talking about angle A, that's this one here. And I'm going to look, this is angle A, one ray and the other ray, just to distinguish. Then this side is adjacent. And this side is opposite of angle A. Okay, we're gonna write two equations. I'm gonna do the second part first, so you need to leave room here to get this part. Okay, so for this one, we are going to divide the opposite by the hypotenuse. Okay? So the opposite by the hypotenuse. So that would mean segment BC, the measure of segment BC. I'm not going to put the line over it because we're talking about the actual measure and not the segment. So if you were to measure this, we would call that BC, and that would be divided by the measure of AB. And we're talking about the measure, so you don't put a line on top. Okay. And again, this is for angle A. And for this one, again, we're going to talk about angle A. We're going to do angle A for these two also. This one here, we're going to do the adjacent divided by the hypotenuse. And the adjacent, and let's do that over here, divided by the hypotenuse. And for this, the adjacent is AC, the measure of AC, not segment AC, the measure of segment AC, divided by the measure of segment AB. Okay, so we did opposite and hypotenuse. We've done adjacent and hypotenuse. What do you guys think we're going to use for this one? Any guesses? Well, we have a few choices. We could do hypotenuse over hypotenuse. We could do flip these around, hypotenuse over adjacent. Or actually what we're going to do is we're going to do the opposite divided by the adjacent. This is adjacent. That's the opposite. And for that, we will get the opposite is BC divided by AC. Okay, so for these, we're going to switch. We are now going to talk about angle B. So the hypotenuse doesn't change. And we're still going to do opposite divided by the hypotenuse. But this time, as you recall, this is angle B here. So now the opposite is going to be over here. So this part here, now my opposite is going to be AC divided by AB. Notice that I get AC over AB for this one and for this one. But this is opposite over hypotenuse and this is adjacent over hypotenuse, but we get AC over AB. So notice the difference. What happened? Well, what happened is that for this one, we're talking about angle B, and AC is opposite of angle B, but it is adjacent to angle A. So this part changes, the name changes depending on the angle we are talking about. Okay, so let's finish these. I will finish these here. I will put them on the video will continue. I'm going to finish it, and there's going to be some more work, and you have a ton of work on Delta Math. Okay, now before you go, how are we going to distinguish what we're talking about? Rather than writing all of this stuff, is when we say opposite over hypotenuse, we're going to use sine. We're going to say we're talking about the sine. When we say sine, we mean opposite over hypotenuse. Divide those two. It's called a ratio. And when we write it, we only write the first three letters, S-I-N. It's called the sine. And here is also called the sine. But for this one, we're talking about angle A. And for this one here, we're talking about angle B. That's why these are different. Okay. When we're talking about adjacent over hypotenuse, that is going to be the cosine. When we're talking about opposite divided by adjacent, that is going to be the tangent. So we say the cosine, the first three letters of A, the tangent, and we only use the first three letters of A, is equal to that. And here it would be the same thing, but it would be the cosine of B, the tangent of B. And this is where the song comes in, the SOHCAHTOA, because this is opposite divided by hypotenuse. This one is adjacent divided by hypotenuse. And this one is opposite divided by adjacent.